like the Arctic out here today. God. Not gonna be doing much filming out here today. Get the ice coming off of the roof here. Looks deadly. Yeah. Be an indoor day today. Figured today we just take a look back on 2022 in review. You'll notice I'm using a different mug today because I just got this one for Christmas. The Many Faces of Michael Myers. How you doing, everybody? Mr. Thrasha here. Like I said, we're going to go over the year of 2022 in review. It has been one of the most intense and crazy years of my life. Personally, with what I've accomplished, what I've gained, what I've lost, there's a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be angry about. We're not going to focus on that. But because of all the winter craziness out there, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. Looking back on everything this year, just scrolling down my videos, there was so much I wanted to accomplish, and just about accomplished every last thing that I had planned for 2022. I can't believe how fast the year went and how much I actually did, coast to coast, saving a lot more for the future. So we're going to go over some of my more favorite videos to do. Videos, events, meetings. It's been one heck of a year, to say the least. I was doing all kinds of different videos around Bayshore, museums. We did the Museum of Science and Technology, and the Museum of Nature as well. Check those out if you're into museums. Plenty of museum walkthroughs in the past year. A lot of venturing. Winter into the spring. One I enjoyed doing was about 8 months ago. The shawarma swarm. When I was swarmed by seagulls. Got myself a shawarma. Edited, so I have to leave it. And I went to enjoy the shawarma. And I was attacked by seagulls. It's probably my fault. Should never feed the seagulls in the Ottawa area. I started off feeding one seagull. You feed one, and the rest of them came. I bought this shawarma. It's my supper. It was a good shawarma.
Oh my god, they're everywhere. I've opened the floodgates.
I gained an audience.
What have I done?
And was swarmed by seagulls everywhere.
God, they're everywhere. You can't have it.
Go back and check out that full video if you get a chance or have not seen it.
I fed them. Don't think I'm eating all this myself. I've given them all a piece.
Which you should never do. Gave a good show for everybody in the hotel parking lot that day.
You guys are up in the nosebleeds.
Spent a lot of the winter, freezing cold conditions, doing a lot of cemetery tours, church tours, some food reviews, basically anything I could do that was actually interesting. Did quite a few of the true crime ones. Might enjoy this one. He burned his mother alive, and that was done in the Bayshore area. There's a lot of opportunity to do some of those true crime ones. I think the year finally started taking a big turn when I could finally get myself out of that apartment. There was lots of very entertaining videos that I did while I was at the apartment, including the museum ones. I would check out the Museum of Science and Tech if you haven't seen that one. But when we finally got to head off into the U.S., I hadn't been in there since the pandemic started, and about this time it was only about 666 subscribers. 666 subscribers. Oh, we hit the road.
It's so small. Look at this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a marker or anything. It's just like...
Well, it probably
There was
did.
lots to see, all across Vermont, New Hampshire, covered a lot of it. Maine, a lot of East Coast videos before coming back to Canada. So if you want to see lots of road videos, go back.
Tupper Lake on the right.
Spent a lot of time in American cemeteries. This was from a video I did in Vermont. Which didn't get as many hits as I wanted it to, but you guys can always go back, check that out. Foggy Vermont Cemetery. Show some cool churches and different things. Yeah, there was lots of good videos from the East Coast tour. Maine to New Hampshire was a good one. Vermont. Got to do the Jumanji filming locations finally. Now, if you didn't know, I actually did 2 versions of the Jumanji filming locations this year.
Similar to these ones.
This one is now the uncut version that came out last May, and then I redid it with before and after shots because a lot of people wanted to see those. But this was an honor to get to do this. Some of these spots, like right here, the cemetery from Jumanji, no one had ever covered. So I wanted to be the first to do that. So there's 2 videos on Jumanji. One is uncut, and if you haven't seen the other one with the then and now shots, check that out. It's actually made up of about 70% unseen footage that was filmed and I didn't use, and then I also have the uncut version, so get the best of both worlds. There was lots to do and see. Did some really good videos in Plattsburgh, New York. It was a 2-parter. I spent a few days there. If you want to check out those videos, right there. And then there was, of course, the brutal storm that hit town directly after I came back from this tour. Was back home and almost died in a storm. This was actually filmed a week after. A tree fell on my leg. That was certainly a life changer.
Just sitting there, look at this tree completely knocked over.
This storm attacked the town and had basically taken down lines and trees all over town. I was outside when the storm began. I had just moved all my stuff into my new house, and then tree came right down on me.
At this tree, I don't think these people are home.
Here's a picture of the wound in my leg. You can see the full video there on my channel. Look at that. That looked a little better than it actually was when it happened, but it was actually the size of a 9mm gunshot wound, and I sat in a waiting room for nearly 24 hours bleeding out. It was not a fun experience, but I'm glad that the rest of the year didn't go so horribly. Here's the backyard and what it looked like after that had happened.
Okay, let's go in. Just got to get over here to the door. About right here on the edge of these branches.
Luckily, I escaped with my life, as well as my dog, who was also underneath the tree. It's very brutal. You can see that whole episode if you go back about 6 months. Staying in a heritage house for free in Chesterville. I was still healing at that point, but that was a fun episode. And finally made her back to Toronto and Niagara Falls, to where I did a big Niagara Falls series and the half-baked filming locations in Toronto. So if you haven't seen that, first to do the filming locations for Half-Baked, check that out. I was really happy with how those came out. Here's a good video though. Arriving in Niagara Falls. This was actually when we arrived for that tour. It's interesting though.
My favorite place in Canada.
Some people must have missed a lot of it, but this turned in, I mean, this included fireworks and all kinds of stuff.
And some fireworks.
Eventually we came to, not the Flying Saucer restaurant.
Fall on me.
Go back, check out all the Niagara videos. You want to check out this one? It's Locomo Land. This place is wild.
Let's hit up the flying.
In fact, it was about the last 10 or 15 minutes of the episode. Shows Locomo Land. We got a private tour, and this was not planned. The amount of awesomeness you see in this place, Locomo Land. You want to go back and check out that video if you didn't get to see it. That's all we could say is, oh my God.
This is like every city you can imagine. Railroad form, look at that. We've got all the trains. This is the craziest model setup. It's this entire floor.
a lot of the time I was trapped in what I could do. I mean, I had a lot of fun doing Niagara Falls as I do. I try to get there every year. So go back. You can see videos on Clifton Hill, the falls, day and night, all the haunted attractions. Check out Ripley's Believe It or Not Auditorium and Louis Tussaud's Wax Museum. We covered that. Even the back roads and historical lesser seen Niagara Falls. Covered a lot. Toronto, the Big Apple, Upper Canada Village, the Diefenbunker. I'd never been there, even though it's close by. And there was the Weird Al tour, which hit Toronto. This was pretty cool. Night one here was actually in Ottawa, here where I currently reside. This is when we finally got to have our meeting of the year with
She's
Al.
known Al just like me for many, many years. In fact, knew him in the 90s before I...
I'm going to skip ahead
Canada
here.
and the United States.
Emo Phillips live. There's our meeting with Al. There's me posing with Weird Al.
Yellow
himself.
line, yellow line.
Thank you, sir. You're the best, Jade.
No problem.
And actually let me be the only one on the whole tour film my interaction with Al.
Not the
So
first time I heard Nature Trail.
that was pretty
Hell
cool.
here,
So go back, check that out.
I want to let you know that Weird Al, Weird Al, Weird Al.
Us Weird Al fans going crazy in Toronto here.
Weird Al, Weird Al, Weird Al.
Go back 4 months to check out those videos of the Weird Al tour coverage. Did quite a few. Did the dirty work filming locations for the first time ever with Scott on tape. That was pretty awesome. It was really good getting to finally meet Scott. Been a big fan of his for a long time, and now I can call him a friend.
For the 2 or 3 days he spent on set, probably he's not known for that. But he probably charged full price. Like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler would have come on and done it. Same with Don Rickles. He's an old school.
Adam Sandler, Gary
Bob
Coleman.
Saget, they know each other.
So many cameos.
And I have a feeling Gary Coleman would have said, no. This is my quote. This is my price.
Go back and check that out. It was wicked working with Scott on tape. Can't wait to meet up with him again. One that I don't think a lot of people checked out that I think they'd like is the Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. Been covered by a lot of YouTubers, but did a full tour of this. You can see all kinds of sea life. Sharks, stingrays. Look at this. Go back, check that out. I'd wanted to cover the Toronto Aquarium for a long time, so it's good to finally get that one done.
Have a snacky. That's it. Have a pop. Take a pop. Take a pop.
Go back and check out my Big Apple. It's actually the second time I did the Big Apple tour, but I take you inside and on top of it. That was pretty fun. I love going to the Big Apple. It's a free roadside attraction. Here's the view from the top of the apple. So I brought you right into it.
Damn apples.
This is up inside the Big Apple. Go back, check out
I've
that.
never ever been up here. Wonder what we'll see. Doesn't think I don't hear anybody else.
Skip ahead a little bit
Okay,
here.
moment of quietness. Moment of quietness. Being all around. Shot.
View from the top of the Big Apple. That Big Apple is pretty big.
The Big Apple.
My most highest hit video is the Halloween 1978 locations, which is my favorite movie of all time. So I'd studied up hard, and I went full-fledged on the detail. Even showing this memorial bench from Mustafa Akkad across from the Strode House in South Pasadena. It was a 49-minute video in the end. 49 minutes, but covered a lot.
Up this road, past this exact building, Tommy was walking slowly across the schoolyard. And just another still here when Michael was following Tommy along the fence before all those play structures were put up.
I had a really fun
Pretty cool.
time, like, visiting all these spots. And you should go check out this video if you've not seen it. Could always do better,
Michael is-
but again, a privilege and an honor to hit all these spots, the schools, the houses, the cemetery, everything involved with the original Halloween. So, if you haven't checked that out, go back, check out that video. It's probably my favorite video ever to do, and the most long awaited to actually put together, so. Sit in the same spot as Jamie Lee Curtis sat in 1978. What's better than that? Definitely some of my most favorite spots to visit. I visit them every time I come to California, but finally I've documented them for my show, which only started in 2021, so first chance I got in South Pasadena, I went and documented it. The Nightmare on Elm Street filming locations are also some of my favorites to do. So many good spots in this. Started off with the horror museum. Of course, we went over to the house. Just gonna mute that. The house, which they have now, I think it was like 2 weeks after I filmed this, they put up a little fence there. This was only filmed in September. Gonna be quite a shame if they redo the facade of this place. Change it up. They're going to be racing history. My favorite spot, though, is this alleyway.
Past
Freddy's Alley.
3-step.
Behind Tina's house.
Pylons weren't there, but those exact fences were.
Venice Beach. It's pretty cool. It was really friggin' awesome to hit these spots, man. This is probably one of my favorite spots. Almost creeped myself out a little bit being there.
Peers into a window, which would have been over here, because they kind of reversed the shot after.
Go back, check out the Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 filming locations I did. Got just about every spot. It's hard to man the camera here and also keep the mouse out of the way as I'm just filming this off of my laptop. This was really cool. To Evergreen Cemetery, to stand right where they were filming a Nightmare on Elm Street, right over on those steps. Heather Langenkamp. Very happy that the Halloween 2 filming locations also got pretty good amount of views, because even if they didn't, I still would have had an amazing time visiting all the homes. Here you see the Wallace house from the original film, also used in part 2. This spot here, though, is one of my favorites. That was getting to walk the exact path Michael did in Halloween 2. Very cool.
Part of Halloween 2 history. Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, right there. Following some trick-or-treaters, he passed this pole on his way to find his sister at the hospital.
Yeah, standing in this alley as well from Halloween 2, amazing. No other alleyway has had that effect on me. Standing in the exact alleyway that Michael Myers walked in after the opening credits of Halloween 2 was absolutely eerie. Horror's hallowed grounds. There's that legendary pole, which I have finally touched. Best part of my year every year is Halloween. Every year that passes by, can't wait for Halloween. So this was the best year of all time to go all out and get to do all these filming locations I've wanted to do for years, that all my favorite YouTubers have done. Hit what could be the final Iron Maiden show of my life. I document a few shows that I went to. I don't generally document and film at concerts, so most of the shows I go to you won't see, but I documented this show here because it could be the final time I ever see Iron Maiden. I can always look back at it and remember that I did. Hung around a lot down here on Hollywood Boulevard this year. This is the second video I actually did on Hollywood Boulevard, so go back, check out both. They both have different stuff to offer. Mixture of everything you see on Hollywood Boulevard in both. The stars, entertainers, vendors, motorcycles, cars, cool wall murals. One of my favorite episodes to do this year was my Lemmy Kilmister Motorhead episode. They will forever be one of my favorite bands. So I documented a lot of the albums I own, old tickets, a pic I caught from Lemmy, and of course went up to the Sunset Strip and visited his favorite place in the world, the Rainbow Bar and Grill, to check out his statue. We went to one of his old homesteads and to his gravesite. So even if you're not a Motorhead fan, check this stuff out. Just trying to find the exact spot in the video. We went and checked out one of the final places where Lemmy lived. Down here, only about a block away from Sunset. And we went back and we visited the man's statue. Immortalized with a statue at the Rainbow. Lemmy will always be a part of my heart, so to get to do a whole kind of mini documentary on him, in my own words, was a dream come true. And as somber as it was, visiting his grave, I got to have a drink there by his mural, and then I take you to Forest Lawn Cemetery and show you Lemmy and Dio's graves, actually, in the columbarium of Sacred Trust. That's what you're seeing here. If you haven't seen this video, go back, check it out. You might learn something about legends like Dio and Motorhead. I like to do a lot of grave videos, so it was really cool to do some stuff at Forest Lawn. Much more coming in the future. I gotta check out the Hollywood Forever Cemetery next time I'm in LA as well, but getting to come right here and pay respects to the godfather of heavy metal, as I like to call him, Mr. Lemmy Kilmister. Big thank you to anybody who watches these videos and enjoys coming along for the adventure. That's all it is. If I'm going to a museum or a filming location, or just checking out a church or a cemetery, or taking the dog for a walk, if you come along with me, you're there with me, and it's just basically giving ideas to people. I think that's what all of YouTube is. We're just giving you ideas, bringing you along. If you don't like it, not doing that. I do have to say I have no idea how 2023 could be better than 2022. I was very content on doing everything I could and getting everything done, and I did. It was the best Halloween ever because of what I was able to film, and that worked out perfectly for me. So I only ever feel content when I'm filming. So, did I have a good 2022 on YouTube? I think I did. Now, my views are not up there. They're probably never going to be up there. But when I started doing this channel, I basically said that if even one person watched a video and liked it, then I was doing it for a reason. So if 100 people like it, then that's awesome for me. And I'll keep doing it as long as I'm doing something of interest. Because I don't want to post something that's boring and not interesting at all. Spent considerable time in LA this year doing all kinds of videos. You can see Forest Lawn Cemetery tours, visiting Carrie Fisher, her mother Debbie Reynolds, and Lemmy, of course. Pee Wee Herman did a Pee Wee's Big Adventure video where I found his bike in the museum, and I show you his house. And there's mixed filming locations, there's random evening strolls, things on Sunset Boulevard. We did a lot. Check out the second version I did of the Jumanji filming locations with the then and now shots and unseen footage I couldn't include in the original uncut version I did. Covered some more metal madness in Montreal. Did the Step Brothers filming locations. This is more recent, just in the past month. I did the Fat Man filming locations, filmed all around here. Mel Gibson and Walton Goggins. And yeah, it's a 1 hour and 10 minute video. I wanted to make a big Christmas special out of it. But there was about 50 spots that we had found for this film, so I covered them all, and I like to do it in high detail, like I did with the Nightmare on Elm Street or the Halloween locations. I wanted to get every single spot, talk about it, take my time doing it, so everybody could get a feel whether they've seen the movie or not. And if you hadn't, maybe you'd want to watch the movie, but I recommend watching the whole hour and 10-minute video. It covers a lot. Some quotes from the film, factories, churches. Everything included in the film, even the roads and signs. Had a really good time doing that. Fat Man with Mel Gibson. So I'm mostly just talking about everything we did in 2022. Many videos, there's many filming locations to look back on. If you want to just check out the filming locations, if you go to my playlists section, you're going to find playlists that I've created, and you'll find all the filming locations in one playlist. There's a whole Niagara playlist right there. Niagara Falls, filming locations, museums. If you want to find all the Los Angeles videos, just to make it a little easier. Or just go to videos and filter through everything we've done this year. There's been a lot. Museums, filming locations, historic landmarks, heritage towns, the Saunders Farm Fright Fest. We did 1 hour of straight haunts at Saunders Farm. Hay rides, haunted houses, you name it. It has been one heck of a year, and I regret nothing that I've done. Big thanks to my buddy Ryan. We had such a good time filming all these Niagara Falls videos. Spent nearly 2 weeks just hanging out in Niagara Falls, exploring everything. So from coast to coast this year, there's lots to look back on. If you haven't, go back and check out some of these videos maybe you haven't seen yet if you're new to the channel, especially the museum tours. Those always seem to entertain people. Oh, this one did a whole special on The Undertaker way back in April before he went into the Hall of Fame. This was going to be an hour-and-a-half video, but all the copyrights brought it back down to about 50 minutes. But show you autographs and pictures I've gotten with The Undertaker, highlights from his career. Boom! Oh yeah, The Undertaker. Giving a scratch. Giving the chinny chin chin a scratch. Still got lots of good California content to upload as well. I had a couple good trips to California this year, so we'll still see more of that coming very soon. As I said earlier, I want to do another cuts and bloopers episode. Bloopers, cuts, unused clips that I just don't want to waste. Just don't want to throw them out. So you'll probably see another compilation of those, which includes a little bit of everything that we did this year. It just didn't make it into the final cut. Little itchy? So much to look back on. No regrets. Wonder what 2023 has in store. I want to thank my good friend Ryan, who you've seen in quite a few videos. We did some amazing tours here in Toronto. Our meetings with Scott on tape, did a couple of videos with him. But we documented a lot of Niagara Falls, as you see here. You'll see Ryan in all those videos. I want to give a big thank you for him, man. I don't know what I'd do without him. He let me take my time when filming. He never rushes me. He wants me to do a good job
Instagram.
on my channel, too. So I'm just going to mute that. This is the cemetery where Laura Secord is actually buried. And me and Ryan just had such a good time out on the road, checking out cemeteries. We did Niagara Falls inside and out, and I'll never forget what a good time we had. Niagara Falls is my favorite place in Canada, so I never actually documented any cemeteries there, so go back, check that out. Said earlier, check out the Locomo Land one we did, but a big thanks to Ryan for helping me out with all those. So much you can see in Niagara. I've done it 2 years in a row, inside and out. Sure, I'll be there next year. This was a 40-minute day to nighttime tour of everything Niagara, so go back and check out those episodes if you didn't get to see them. Thanks again, everybody. If you made it to the end of the video of my 2022 year in review, looking back on everything we did in 2022, what will we do in 2023? Don't know unless you tune in to the Mr. Thrasha Show. Thank you to all my loyal subscribers who have subscribed and kept their subscription. I love you all so much. Please like, please subscribe. Join in next time. It'll be a new year on the Mr. Thrasha Show. Good girl, Gemma. Even Gemma got her own episode this year in 2022. She's my life companion right here. That's my good Cocker Spaniel. Good girl. Do you think we can make 2023 even better, Gemma? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. Still much to accomplish. Still much to do, much to see here on the Mr. Thrasha Show. That's about it for this year, right, Jim? Closing out 2022. I wish you all a very happy and safe new year. So we'll see you in the new year.
Got some more. Oh, it kind of blows away in the wind. You eat a very fine food. Come here. I got lunch for you. That's it. Come on over. Come on. Here you go. Come on. Here, buddy. Did you eat already today? He ate lunch already. Wild looking bird. Have a snacky. That's it. Have a pop. Take a pop.
I brought seagulls from far and wide.
I don't have any more. I can only afford one shawarma. These kids will give you some more sandwiches. All right, moving on now.